All right. Have any of you heard the great and amazing story of the 40 Roman soldiers who were martyred in 320 AD? Today, I want to share with you this incredible story. First, we will look at the setting surrounding and the events leading up to and occurring during the martyrdom of these 40 soldiers. There were many eyewitnesses to the account. First, St. Basil, St. Gregory, St. Ephrem, and many others. Some of their work is recorded in the Catholic Encyclopedia, the Religious Encyclopedia, the book Jesus Freaks, and the Eternal World Television Network. First, the 40 soldiers were from many different countries. They were all Christians, and they were part of the 12th Legion, known as the Thundering Legion, which was known for its incredible military achievements. The 40 soldiers lived in a place called Sebastia, Armenia, which is in present-day Turkey. It was the year 320 AD, and the emperor at that time was Valerius Licinius. And you can see, here's Valerius Licinius there on the left, and his inscription on those coins. And in 316 AD, he began a fierce persecution of Christians. In the year 320 AD, Emperor Licinius ordered all the troops of the army to offer sacrifices to the Roman gods, and those who did not would be punished by death. These 40 soldiers told the governor of the province that they could not offer the sacrifices. He told them that by doing so, they would be denying their God, the King of Kings. The governor told the soldiers of the dishonor it would be to refuse and promised them great honor and high favor in the sight of Caesar if they would sacrifice to the gods. Candidus, who spoke for the group, told the governor that he could give them nothing equal to what he would deprive them of. And after finding all the soldiers resolute, the governor had the soldiers torn with whips and iron hooks and loaded with chains and imprisoned under the charge of Aglios the jailer until the general of the army would arrive. A few days later, when the general did arrive, the soldiers were re-examined. They were once again made large promises and threats of torture if they would not comply. To these promises and threats, Candidus replied, "You offer us money that remains behind, and glory that fades away. You seek to make us friends with the emperor, but alienate us from the true king. We desire one gift, the crown of righteousness. We are anxious for one glory, the glory of the heavenly kingdom. We love honors, those of heaven. You threaten fearful torments and call our godliness a crime, but you will find us not faint-hearted or attached to this life or easily stricken with terror. For the love of God, we are prepared to endure any kind of torture." The governor was enraged with the soldiers. He devised the slowest and most painful death he thought possible. He decided to place them naked on a frozen pond of thick ice, to deny their faith or to freeze to death. He arranged also for there to be a bathhouse beside the pond for any soldiers willing to deny their faith and sacrifice to the Roman gods. They were not afraid to die. They stripped themselves of their clothing and ran out rejoicing onto the ice, counting themselves worthy to suffer for Christ, who had suffered for them. And they all jointly prayed, "Lord, we are 40 who are engaged in this combat. Grant that we may be 40 crowned, and that no one be wanting to this sacred number." As the night went on, and a cold wind blew, a dim figure could be seen emerging from the middle of the pond. There were now only 39 soldiers on the ice. One of the soldiers had given up. He had denied his faith in his God. He was going to offer the sacrifices. But due to the sudden change in temperature from the frozen lake to the steaming bathhouse, the traitor instantly died. But at that time, something happened to Aglios the jailer, who had watched the soldiers all week and had served as one of the guards surrounding the pond. His heart had been changed. He knew that Jesus alone was to be worshipped and served. He took off his armor and clothes and went out running out on the frozen pond shouting, "I am a Christian." There were now 40 soldiers for Christ. But those who did not freeze to death that night were burned to death the next morning. To conclude, Let us think of ourselves in light of this incredible account. Even though we are not all called to martyrdom, we are all called to love Jesus Christ with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to live every moment honoring and glorifying God, just as those 40 soldiers who were true to their God and obeyed the King of Kings. They were 40 brave soldiers for Christ.